There are a lot of core principles I work with in my workshops, and it's quite good to know what they are because it sets the tone for the way the workshop is likely to run and the kind of experiences that people will have. And here are 5 things about relationships that are fundamental to the way that I work. The first one is never assume that behaviour and intention are aligned. Someone's intentions may show up in very different behaviour than the way that you perhaps might show that intention in your behaviour. We need to separate behaviour from intention so that when somebody does something, we don't automatically make the assumption that we know where it comes from. Second, people talk a lot about treating people the way that they want to be treated. That's great if the underlying premise of that is with respect, but most of the time what they mean is, well, I'd want it done that way, so therefore it's obvious that I would treat someone else the way that I would like things done. The reality is we all want things differently done, and therefore if you treat people the way you'd like to be treated, you run the risk of treating someone in a way that they don't like. It's better to find out what someone else wants, let them know what you want, and then treat each other in a way that works for you individually. Thirdly, if you want something to change, it is quite tempting to assume that someone else has to change. But change doesn't happen that way. Change tends to be led from you. If you would like someone's reaction to be different to the way that you give them feedback, hoping desperately that if you explain it again and again and again, that they will come round and they will see that your intentions are good and get the message, isn't going to work for you. What you need to do is you need to change the way that you're giving that feedback in the hope that if you change what you do, it will lead to change in what they do. At some point, if you keep trying different things, you will get a different response. This is not a new principle. People have talked for years about how if you want a different outcome, you have to change what you put in at the front end. And when it comes to relationships, the most powerful thing to change is yourself. Number 4, if you don't believe that change is possible, you're unlikely to put the effort in that is required to do it. There is a growth mindset principle that suggests that if you believe something can be done, if you believe change is possible, if you believe that you have the power to influence that, you're more likely to engage with it and you're also more likely to get a result. In relationships, that principle applies as well as in other areas of your life. If you think that a relationship needs work, you will invest. If you believe that a relationship could change if you know how to change it, or if you go about it in the right way, then you will get the best possible results. But you need to believe it's possible and go into it at least wanting it to be something that can change. And finally, there is no such thing as a quick fix. I know we're in a high speed, high fix environment a lot of the time. It's the whole fast life, fast food, fast everything is paramount in so much of what goes on, but actually slow and steady is the answer to relationship. Long-term relationship building isn't about one thing you to do today. It's about the many things you do again and again and again across time that build trust, that create relationships that run deep, that can weather the storms of disagreement, can weather the storms of wanting different approaches to situations. You must go into relationship building with the intention to commit to the long term, not to the quick win. And therefore you have to do things sometimes more than once, knowing it is the right thing to do for the best of this relationship, even if you don't get the return immediately. There are 5 principles that I work to. There are others, and there are some core messages that show up in all of my work. But I think if you enter into the spirit of those 5, you're well on the way of getting some really great positive success with your team and your relationship building at work.